Logic 11.2 is out with all sorts of new goodies, enhancements, and your traditional bug fixes. In this video, I will not go over the new enhanced stem splitter, the flashback capture, or the AI writing tools in the Notes tab. Plenty of videos that go over these out there. Rather, I'll go over the most important updates for my workflow that just might be as well for yours, and the latest and greatest in spatial audio, and sprinkled in there what I would have liked to see in this release that's not yet there. Let's take a closer look. Let's start with two things that have been missing and have been requested for years. Search and select, where you can navigate large projects with ease by searching and selecting tracks by name or track number. This one is a time saver. In the previous version, they added a search and add plugin command, Command Control P, which lets you find and add a plugin. In 11.2, you can now search and select track, which in larger projects is a definite time saver and something that has been missing for a long time. Only caveat with this one though is that it finds and selects the track, yes, but if that track is beyond the fold, meaning you have to scroll to get to it, it puts the found and selected track at the bottom of the screen. Would have been nice if it centered it in your screen, for example, but might be asking too much here. Another little quirk with this is that the search window does not go away once you've selected the track. It just stays there and you need to click away for it to say bye-bye, which is kind of annoying, but hey, finding tracks in such an easy way is a gift. And long faders. Yes, simply right-clicking on the fader lets you select a long faders option, which is finally so much better. And it works in the mixer window as well. Couple of funny things here. In the tracks area, make sure you right-click on the dB scale and not on the fader itself, which would not work. In the mixer window, you can't right-click at all to get to this command. Could have been added to the right-click menu there. Not sure why it isn't, but hey. So to enable long faders in the mixer window, go to the view menu of the mixer window, not the main view menu, and select it there. You can always hit Ctrl-Shift-L. Another one I can't believe wasn't there before is that the undo history is now saved with each project. A bit of frustration saved with this one. One of those annoyances, which I can't really show you because they fixed it, is the fix in that Logic Pro no longer displays closely spaced stepped automation points as if they were interpolated. In other words, one point was on top of the other, so you could not select what you wanted to select, and if you were editing your automation moves, it was just a mess. Let's look into the new spatial audio goodies. A very welcome addition is that the Dolby Atmos plugin now offers a direct 2.0 monitoring option. That is very important if you are using the internal renderer in Logic. The 2.0 fold down, basically the stereo version of your Atmos mix as interpreted by the Dolby Atmos algos, is a process, a three-step process, going from Atmos to a 5.1 fold down, and then from that to a 2.0 stereo fold down. Something that it is now documented in the Dolby Atmos plugin as well, as it is no longer listed as just 2.0, but as 2.0 from 5.1 downmix. Downmix here by the way, being just another way of saying fall down. The 2.0 Direct is a separate Dolby algo that actually folds your Atmos mix, you guessed it, directly to 2.0 stereo, which results in a punchier and more clear mix. It's more punch, more clarity, at least in my tests. Workflow-wise, a cool addition is that the channel strip surround and object pan controls now include a fader to control the elevation parameter. Before, you needed to go into the plugin to do this. Now you can do it from the channel strip and the mix window. Still though, I would have loved if you could also do it in the tracks area. Some more cool Atmos spatial audio updates in Logic coming up. But before we dive deeper, I wanted to let you guys know that if you are currently working on or planning on working and releasing your music in Dolby Atmos, I have put together a free resource for you guys, which I think would be very, very helpful. It is our 10-page Dolby Atmos release planner and checklist that goes over everything you need from creation to distribution to release your Dolby Atmos masterpiece. Link is in the description below. Back to the Logic updates. For those with smaller rigs or just songs with simpler arrangements, a way to save on resources is to use a smaller bed. Bed meaning, and I'll oversimplify here, the basic tracks needed to create an immersive mix. Logic now includes both 510 and 710 surround bed formats, which is excellent. Tiny little note on this one, Y.0. It has kind of become almost customary to use objects for the height speakers, so they are not included in these bed formats. Kind of confusing when you see it, but hopefully it makes sense now. A couple of more welcome additions are that settings can now be saved and recalled for the Atmos plugin, and the surround format of audio files is now displayed in the project audio window. A very scary bug has been fixed, ladies and gentlemen. In previous versions, when exporting the Atmos project to ADM-BWF, you would get a normalized progress bar, which would send shivers down your spine and waste quite a bit of your time trying to find out what happened. What's going on? Is this normalizing my Atmos mix? And all these other thoughts of doom. Well, no more Stephen King Atmos for you. This was a bug and has been fixed. Now, what I would have loved to see is 914 and the capability to manually assign objects, but oh well, we get what we can get. One can only hope. And while contemplating this, you can visit this playlist with a whole bunch of more Logic Pro Atmos spatial audio stuff.